right, let's get this going. Thank you all very, very much for joining this webinar today. There were a lot of requests for us to do that. We understand we have a new offering. There's a lot of questions around it. So let me introduce myself. I'm Marcos Carvalho. I'm one of the founders at Boundless. And I have the great pleasure to be accompanied today by these three amazing ladies, Lindsey, Gleason, Boundless Life founding family, turned team member. So she'll tell her story a little later. Suzanne Prokofsky, Boundless Life head of academics, former co-founder at New Nordic Schools, and the one and only Stacey. Stacey represents the Sellar family, who has been with us since the beginning, and will tell you more about how she is living the boundless life herself. So I will go through a few slides with Suzanne, just a couple to introduce what we're doing, talk more about the 1 month cohort, something new that we are launching. And then I will have also Stacey and Lindsey to talk more about their experience. In the meantime, if anybody wants, please put the questions in the Q&A, and then at the end, we will answer all those questions. Okay, so I'm gonna get going, and I'll share my screen here with everybody, and just share a few slides and talk more about the Boundless Life and everything we are doing here. So, you know, the events we experienced since the beginning of the pandemic made us rethink our day-to-day lives and revise our priorities. And some of the questions we started asking ourselves included, why live in expensive cities and pay big mortgages if we could live anywhere and relocate as we wish? Why commuting long hours and pay 2 car leases if we can work from anywhere and enjoy more time with our families and friends? Why only benefiting from a few weeks of vacation per year during peak season if we could explore the world and slow travel while committing as usual to our daily responsibilities? But then when we look into how to actually execute on our ambitions with our kids, we faced the same challenge that most families face. And you know, we couldn't find the solutions to identify the right community for us and our kids to socialize with. Or you know, we had a challenge on knowing how we would educate our children on the road and be able to work at the same time, and how to plan for all the logistics. So, you know, that's where all of that is coming from. And we spoke with thousands of families before we decided that we'll go ahead and create a solution for that. We're a team composed of young families, serial entrepreneurs, and digital remote workers with an international and multicultural background. Myself, born in Brazil, raised between Brazil, France, United States, and Canada, world traveler, and passionate about discovering the amazing things that our planet has to offer. So, you know, we are experts in education, in hospitality, in real estate, and we founded and exited multiple companies before launch Boundless Life. And like most companies, or actually all of the companies we created, Boundless was born out of our personal needs to find a solution to live what we describe today as the boundless life that we believe will be a lifestyle, one of the main lifestyles in the future, right? So realizing that so many worldwide trends related to the future of living education were supporting our ideas, as I said, we went ahead and we created this solution, a solution that enables families to easily, safely, and comfortably explore the world and embrace the charm and beauty of authentic cultures, connect with nature and like-minded families, and be free from the restrictions of the traditional school year schedule, while being able, as usual, to commit to our daily responsibilities work in a stimulating environment, and most importantly, provide state-of-the-art education to our children. And the Boundless Life, it's really becoming, a paradigm shift for families. It's really an unmatched solution for a unique lifestyle. It's a turnkey solution designed to facilitate the transition to this more location independent lifestyle. We've been nomads. When I say we, is humanity for 99% of our history. And it's only after the Industrial Revolution that we start settling in large cities. And well, we realize today, it's not probably not the most natural way of living. So we want to go back now to a more tribalist, nomadic lifestyle, location-dependent lifestyle, but today, thankfully, powered by technology. So as I said, we provide a turnkey solution, and that includes fully furnished and equipped homes designed specifically with families in mind. It's very different from a short-term rental. We understand your needs, your family's needs, and the house is equipped accordingly before you arrive. I have myself lived in most of those properties here in Central Portugal to test them out. And as you can see, this is my wife and I in one of them. Today, we are living in this little one here with our dogs that has a garden. So we are adapting to our needs as well. And of course, this progressive education system that we're going to talk more about in the following slides, that, the entire goal is to prepare children for real life. And the uniqueness of this program is that it follows families where they go. That's the first education system that is designed specifically for that. We also provide this stimulating and collaborative co-working hub where I am now. I'm connected here to a few screens, but I can show you a little bit more. It's a beautiful space, also fully equipped with snacks and coffee and everything we need. And the coolest thing about this space here is how we get together and the parents collaborate and create things together. And many ideas and many projects we already start working on it, and this is really cool. And of course, the community. When I ask families, what's the most important part, even though we're doing providing a very unique offering of all those pieces, but the community, and that, there's no price. We can put a price on community. It's just people getting together and getting along and enjoying each other, and the kids being able to socialize and everybody together. We say we are the average of the top 5 people we hang out the most with, right? So here, this is what we're trying to do, bring everybody up by bringing great people together, very creative people together, and use that energy and those resources to literally make the world a better place. This is what we're looking for. Another great feature is our local teams, and those are local ambassadors. These are local residents who are members of the team, and their number one mission is to help families feel at home as soon as they arrive and support the cultural immersion, right? They will take you around and show you everything you need to know to feel like a local, introduce you all the information if you like specific type of foods, specific sports and activities. That's everything. If you need something unique in your home for your family, they will take care of that. And of course, our homes, as I mentioned, are fully equipped and furnished, but also we provide cleaning service once a week. All you need to do really is to buy your food. We do all the maintenance that you have nothing to care about. And then our online platform, we leverage technology to facilitate the transition to the Boundless Life and bring the community together. It's a set of tools who support families, everything from enabling local experiences, travel arrangements, supporting with recommendations on mobile plans, health plans, even visas and legal services. And that's really, a way for families to get together also and build the community online and communicate with us, prepare for the trip, manage your trip, and also stay in contact with the committee after you leave, before you join, hopefully, the next destination. So as I mentioned, education is at the core of everything we do. We believe if we can fix education, we can fix the world. So now I'm going to pass the ball to Suzanne, our head of academics. Suzanne is an amazing talent. From what we understand, the best person to take care of launching Boundless Education Centers across the globe. If Suzanne, you can give me a little bit more of your background and how you end up joining your team, that would be great. I'm going to mute myself now.
Hi, everyone. I'm not sure if you can see me. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Because I'm in Granada scouting a new education center for all of us. And it's absolutely incredible here. Mauro and I are here together. Amazing, amazing place. So my background is purely educational, and actually hi to Seattle, where I went to university, and also San Francisco, where I worked at a school, the first school I ever worked at. My family and I have lived a boundless life of sorts, because both my husband and I are educators. We've lived in Singapore, Saudi Arabia, lived down in Alameda by San Francisco, in the UK, in Singapore, in China, in Finland, and now world's our oyster with Boundless. And I set up, co-founded an educational company in Finland called New Nordic Schools. And when Reka, who is the co-founder and leads the education, reached out, we just found enormous, just everything worked really well. And it was everything I developed for 4 years that Boundless wanted to do. So what we do is take the best of Finnish education, which allows for personalized learning, for less stress on testing, for less homework, for more experiences, and more just personalized learning. And when the kids are not stressed, when they start school a little bit earlier, the results are very, very good. You grow up with very confident kids who are ready to face the world. And Marcos, if you go to the next slide. Yeah, sorry, I can't control them from here. A lot of what we do is based on our learning pillars. So experiential learning, where the kids actually have hands-on learning. They go out into the world, they experience, they actually trial things. And not only trial things, but that failure is actually welcomed and celebrated, and kids learn from not succeeding in things, and it leads them to be really successful in other areas. In Sintra, we are very, very lucky to have a lot of nature around us. In other places, we'll have to reach out to get to the nature-based learning, but it's a very important part of us to connect with nature, to understand what we are doing and understand why nature is so important. And every single day, the day starts with mindful moments. So the kids go out again into wherever the environment may be, and they have a mindful moment together. So they start as a community, start very focused and very in the moment. And it's actually a really, really beautiful experience. We also have project-based learning, which was back on the other slide. And with the project-based learning, that's where the Finnish education really comes up trumps, because when kids have a project to work on, when they find a connection and find the meaning in what they're doing, that's when they are more successful and more engaged and want to participate. And we had the most amazing end of year celebration where they shared their learning. I'm sure Lindsey and Stacey will tell you more about that. And of course, being in all these different countries, it would be foolish not to pull on all the culture, all the local culture, the local language, the local people. And even in our first cohort, we managed to do that quite well, and it's growing with every cohort. We're learning more, and we're getting more and more involved in the local culture. If you could go to the next slide, it covers similar things, Marcos. Over the summer, what we will be leaving out of these is the mastery time, because we want the summers to be a little bit more relaxed. We want it to be off academia in the sense that we won't be teaching new concepts, but what we'll be doing is applying ones that have already been learned and applying the skills the kids have using the quest time. So in this, what we'd have is in a normal day, we'd have connection time with the mindfulness, mastery time, where they learn new skills in a very personalized way. So if your child is really, really strong in math, they will be put on a higher level of math. If there are some challenges in an area in math, we will address those challenges at the level they're at. To pull this all together, we have the questing time. And the questing time is highlighted through the UN SDGs. So currently our quest is Water of Life. And every quest, the interdisciplinary unit of learning, revolves around a single SDG, a UN Sustainable Development Goal, so that these are not just things on the wall, that the kids are actually living them and understanding them at the level that they are capable of for their age. We have Genius Time, and Genius Time is based on Google's Genius Time, and it allows for kids to explore anything that they have interest in, be it penguins, be it stars, be it football, whatever they would like to explore and find their personal connection and interest in. That's what they do at Genius Time. And this is, of course, supported by our educators. Nature and Culture Time, I went through a bit. And Endeavor Time is where you as parents come in really strongly. We want to involve parents. When parents are involved, that's when the kids find huge, huge value. And many of you as homeschoolers are very involved in your kids' education. So that's when we ask parents to share in their expertise, to share. We had a family, a dad last cohort coming in and teaching coding. This cohort, we have a family, a mom coming in teaching the kids about photography, and connected to that, there's a local competition. And it just so happens it's about water. So it's connecting our quest, the UN SDG, and Endeavor Time with the family. So very, very powerful learning there when so many different things are involved. We have extracurricular activities. And again, those will differ from cohort to cohort. And these are to complement what is happening in the classroom and to see what we can get. What would the kids be interested in? So this cohort, we're offering art and movement. And then the other one is sports and debate. We're lucky to have an amazing surfing teacher, instructor, who will pick up the kids and drop them. And they have surfing lessons with him for 3 hours, all the gear, everything there. And we'll also offer Portuguese lessons here. So there's a lot happening in the extracurricular activities as well. As I shared earlier, pulling on and learning from local culture is amazing. And that's where our curriculum is enriched greatly. And we have a 10-day cycle for the timetable. And every day 10 is a field trip where we go out into the local community. And actually next cohort will actually bring people in instead of leaving. So we can do tile painting and Portuguese cooking. The kids will plan the cooking, buy the ingredients, and actually cook a meal. And we'll do the tile painting. We've got, we visit the palaces, we'll visit the beach, and connect it back to our quests and back to our culture time. So what culture time will look very different in every destination that we have. The next
Suzanne,
one.
Suzanne, while I have you here, because I know you need to leave soon, just wanted to go ahead and answer one of the questions, which I believe is a question that will come up again, which is, what is the main difference in academics, between the 1 month sessions and the 3 month sessions, right? And I know we have some slides about that here, and I'm going to try to find them as well.
It's, I think, 2 forward.
Yes. Can you see her?
Yeah, that's it. Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah. So in the 3 month sessions, what we have is the 3 month session equate to an academic year in a normal school. And that's when we focus on teaching concepts, teaching new concepts, new skills, actually the skills they learn all the time, but where you have objectives for math and English and science. And we don't teach to the objectives, but we check that we do meet objectives. We do have a responsibility to our kids to ensure that they are making progress academically. So the difference in the summer months is we will have a quest still, so we'll still have the interdisciplinary unit of learning, and it will be based around the 4th UN SDG, which is quality education and equal opportunities for lifelong learning for all. And in this, we'll focus very strongly on art, science, and sports. But what we won't be doing is teaching new math and new English. We will be applying what the kids will be applying what they've already learned and make progress in that way. And the focus will be on all the experiences that they have. And a lot of the teaching will happen through stories. So the science happens through stories. And through those stories, we bring in the art. And through that, we look at the local sport. So we want to make it not completely like a camp, but somewhat like a camp. But again, reaching each child, what sport are they interested in? Who would they like to research in a particular sport in a local setting? And what we will do over the 3 months, there will be a flow of what happens in those 3 months. So if somebody stays for 3 months, nothing will be repeated. There will be new opportunities over the 3 months. But if some of the kids stay for 1 month, that would work as well, because each month would have its own mini quest within it. And what we have upped, because it's the summer months, is we will have a 5-day timetable. And because it's only a month, we'll do a field trip every week to experience the local culture and experience what our local community has to offer. Awesome. Was there any other question there?
That's awesome. Well, we have a couple of questions that I can easily answer, Suzanne, if you have to go.
Brilliant.
I know you are there.
I don't know if they can see, but this is, can you see that?
We can see a little bit, yes. We know you are there, and that's something we can talk about in Spain. One of our next destinations. So looking at helping setting up all the education center and everything there. So
brilliant.
Go ahead.
Thanks,
I know you
everyone.
have meetings. Thank you.
Hope to see you soon.
Bye. Bye. So
bye.
I'm gonna go ahead and just continue here the presentation. Let me just go back. We went ahead and jump a few slides. But that may answer some of the questions, and then I'll be super happy and excited to hear Lindsey and Stacey also talk about their experience. But one thing that we really believe in, and it's probably the number one reason why we're doing this. And the founders, as I mentioned, we are very multicultural, and we lived and come from different cultures and different countries. Now, we realized we had some competitive advantage in understanding other people. Boundless is all about combining. Sorry about that. I have my dog here in the hub as well, so that she gets scared about something. So my point was, we believe that combining education and traveling, it's really a way to impact the world in a positive way, because that's how we're going to raise the children that will develop the empathy, the compassion, the kindness necessary to reduce polarity, which we believe is one of the biggest problems humanity faces today. We see what's going on. So if we can, raise children in this way, so that they will receive the education to work on projects that will have a true positive impact in the world. So this is really one of the main reasons why we are doing all of that, besides, of course, us parents wanting to travel and have a great time. So for anybody to join us, and wanted to summarize the process here. So you go on our website, you choose one of our package. We have 1 month packages and we have 1 month cohorts and 3 month cohorts and different packages. So the longer the package, the cheaper it gets. And the reason why we are doing this is because it's not only cheaper for families to join, and for us is a great way to measure demand in the future and being able to plan ahead. Okay, so we have, as I mentioned, 3 months cohorts, and we decided that we would do 3 1-month cohorts every year as well. That's something that we were not planning on doing first, but we realized that would enable families that are not yet slow travelers or location independent to try it out and see if that's something, a lifestyle they would enjoy. So that could replace the summer holidays, that could replace also the winter holidays, and it's much easier also for anybody to plan ahead to do that. So you can buy, as I mentioned, a 1 month package, a 3 month package, which is both of them 1 cohort, or you can buy a 6 month, a 9 month, or a 12 month package. You go on our website to select the one we want. When you do that, you have to reserve your package and paying the equivalent of 1 month of stay with us based on the price of that package, which will vary, of course, through because of the length of the package, but also the type of property you are looking for and how many kids you want to enroll in the education center. Once you do that, our onboarding team will reach out, have a conversation with you, really understand your needs, and making sure that we can help you plan for your first stay. Once you decide when you want to join, you will have, that's the moment also when you book your property, and we will suggest the properties that work best based on your needs and according to availability. You can do that as soon as you get your package, or you do that up to 30 days before the beginning of the cohort. But we recommend to do as soon as possible, quite frankly, having a lot of demand, and we only have an average 30 properties per destination. So once you do that, you are ready to go, and you join us in one of those destinations at the beginning of the cohort. They always start at the beginning of the month where this cohort starts, right? So yeah, I went ahead actually and talk about the packages, so I'm gonna jump that. We mentioned the 1 month getaway, which is one of the reasons we're doing this webinar, to answer questions. What are the differences in between the 1 month cohort and the 3 month cohort? The main difference is around the education system, quite frankly. Even though I don't believe children in our education system really feel like they're going to school, but in the summer cohorts, you wanted them to really enjoy also and feel like they are on vacation, especially for those who are in the traditional education system, right? So we talk about that. As you've seen, Suzanne is now in Spain, working on one of our next destinations. Tuscany in Italy is also another one, Greek island. and then actually eventually even Morocco. Those are some of the top destinations for the next 12 months. And we may accelerate that and then also go to Costa Rica and Bali. Those are other destinations we are working on. But quite frankly, our plan is to be in 30 destinations in the next 3 years. And hopefully, if we're able to expand as fast as we think we could, 100 destinations in the next 5 years. That's our goal. Our goal is to really create the structure for families to just keep going from one destination to another and explore the world. We have a lot of data about the places where we want to launch, and our team is growing rapidly. We went from 4 co-founders a few months ago to almost 50 people now, and the team keeps growing, right? So I highly invite everybody to follow us on social media. It gives you a clear idea of what's going on. All the pictures you've seen in this presentation are real pictures from our community here in Sintra and the first cohort. And we're gonna keep sharing that with everybody on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, what's going on, right? So I'm gonna stop here now. I'm gonna let Lindsey introduce herself, and then Stacey, and will be, I'm looking forward to hear more about their experience as well, and for them to share that with you. So if you want to go ahead, I'm gonna mute myself, Lindsey, and then you can take over.
There we go. All right, hi everybody. I will share my story briefly, and then Stacey can go into hers, and then maybe Stacey, you and I can kind of bop back and forth in terms of what the experience has been like since we're both here. So some of you I've already met, actually, and I know some of you are joining us in June, others in September, which is really exciting. But my story is, while I work with the Boundless team now as a demand generation associate, which means I will be your first point of contact, any new families who haven't spoken with us yet. While I joined the team, first I joined Boundless as a family. So we joined as a founding family. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and Sydney and myself and my partner, we learned about Boundless through a World Schooling Facebook group, which I know a lot of you guys have learned about us through that as well. And we had never heard of anything like it. We were looking at putting Sid into a Montessori school and then a Waldorf. And we just didn't think we could travel anymore after having a child, not knowing, is there a consistent, reliable education system that we could put her in? And of course, now we found it. So I met with Marcos. He sold me very quickly. I fell in love with it. This is exactly what we were looking for. So we joined as a family again, and then I joined the team. So for anyone who's learning about us, who hasn't met with us yet, when you book a meeting, you'll be speaking with me. And I can't wait to answer all your questions, and we'll talk about the 1 month. June is booked, actually. Anyone on this, don't worry, if your name is here and we saw your name, you have your spot. We have held that for you, but we're now looking at July and August. All right, so Stacey, I'll hand it over to you. Oh, is she there? Might have to go knock on her window.
Hey, Stacey? Maybe her computer died or something.
Yeah, just call her over to you.
Come here. Okay.
Perfect.
So a little bit more echo, but let me
sorry. Hello, sorry. My computer did something weird, funky, but of course, this is live. This is what we do. So I'm super excited to meet you all. I joined, I think it was one of the first people to join as soon as Boundless came on the scene. My husband and I and our 2 kids, a 7 and 10-year-old, left Silicon Valley. I had a big corporate executive job in Silicon Valley for the last 17 years. Had always dreamed of world schooling. And so we went on the road October of 2020 and spent 14 months on the road, suffering all the things that you're suffering right now. Where do we go? Where's the safe place? What are the accommodations? What are, how do I school my child or get them educated? Where are the communities, dropping into homeschool communities? And so we really did not know where we were gonna end up, and we just moved around like 36 times in a year. Don't recommend that. But anyway, when I finally heard about Boundless, it was like the answer to all of our prayers. They did all the research. They told us, you know, they were figuring out the best places to go. And then I have always been interested in alternative education. I'm not interested in sending my kids to school. I think we struggle here about whether we call it school or a learning center, an education center, because it definitely is not school. My kids who did go to traditional school for a little bit were doing some school refusal before we left, and now they are up early begging to go to school, and it's pretty funny. We're like, you just have to wait a few more minutes. So they absolutely love it. Couldn't be happier. And I see one of the questions is, how's the housing like? And there's different buildings. Ours has 4 floors and 5 different apartments. And it is this amazing communal aspect where the kids are running in the back in the gardens, and they're running between the houses and up and down. And there's texts going back, my kid's coming over to your house. So yeah, my kid will come over and we'll let you know when they're leaving. And another neighbor is saying, I made, dinner. Do you want some? Yes, I do. Of course I do, because you're an amazing chef. So it's been magical. And Boundless are these alchemists who bring together all the pieces to create this experience where you're able to bond with like-minded people, even though we're from different cultures and backgrounds and economic situations and housing situations, like everything. We're all so different, and yet have just become family to each other and take care of each other's families and kids like they're our own. And I mean, I can answer more questions, but it's everything I hoped it would be and more. Absolutely. From the co-working hub to the housing, to the community, to the people, to the school, to the teachers, and school. Put that in, yeah, like that. So
awesome, great.
So
okay, so I will go ahead and I'm gonna put my headphones because I know the sound will be better for everybody.
I'll see if I can get back on.
Yes. Stacey was in a phone booth, so we could all be in the same place. And now here. So go ahead and try to answer as many questions as possible. Some have been answered already. So let me see here what we have. We have Jessica joining us in June. Hear about more the integration with the local community and how local children in the Boundless School activities like sports with kids and with local kids, etc. Yeah, that's a great question. So there are different aspects to that. We dedicate an amount of spaces in our learning center for local kids. We have to say that Sintra is a quite international community as well. So we have kids from all over the world, but we have also Portuguese kids. Our teachers are probably at least 30 to 40% locals as well, Portuguese. So the kids in the learning center learn Portuguese. I was impressed going for dinner with one of the families and their kids, and they were the one ordering the food in Portuguese after a couple of weeks. That was really great. And many kids participate in sports with local teams, like soccer, for example, which is big in Portugal. So we have kids that go to the local soccer team or to the local language classes. So that's really, we facilitate and we present options, but it's up to each parent to see where they want to enroll their kids, and we help with that. Our concierge service is there supporting with any questions and connecting people, etc. We will be growing more our the voluntary aspects of Boundless. We launched, and now we're making connections with the NGOs that we want to support. Recently, because of the war, we were supporting actually more refugees, but we want to do more of that with the local community as well, of course. And there are different causes that we want to support that would be suggested to families in our community to also support, and that's a great way to engage with the local community. But the engagement with local community also happens very naturally through the connections we have. I'll give you an example. I was living in one of the Boundless apartments, upstairs, an ice cream shop and coffee shop. So we became friends with the owners, right? And they come to the Boundless events. Lindsey there goes to Lisbon with her neighbor upstairs, which is this older couple that loves Sydney, her daughter. So, you know, that's the integration that we are having, and they really appreciate what we are doing because we are bringing a lot of returns to the local economy in a way that is on average 25 bigger than a traditional tourist. And we're not just coming here and in and out. We are here and we are living like locals. So that's how I can answer this question. So we talk about after school activities, and that was answered as well. But they change every cohort according to the season and the what we think works best. So the ones for June will be presented to the team, to the families joining in June. Are there plans to grow the educational program beyond the age of 12? Yes, absolutely. Actually, today I was about, I still have to do it, actually send an offer to a building here in Sintra where we'll be able to expand to middle school and high school. It's the only building within the historical center where we can actually land and property where we can build, and we want to add to be able to grow our education center, which is actually just next door to this property. And our education team is working on the curriculum for middle school, high school. Should be launched by the beginning of next year, I believe. Okay. What are the age for the extracurricular activities? Will all the ages be together in one group? No, it's similar to the group ages within the education center. This summer, we may have a bigger mix, and it will depend also on the age gaps, of course. So it's going to be up to our teachers to see what fits best. But right now it's 1 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 12. And we actually meet the parents and talk to the children also, or understand the needs of each child to see in what group age they could fit best. So it's a very personalized approach. When should be expecting to be aligned on housing for June? Soon. I know you join, you already signed up for June, Jessica. Our team will be reaching out soon, and we will be taking care of that. Do not worry. And Lindsey will connect with you afterwards to talk about that. Juni Fujimoto is asking, are all the ECAs and trips including the cost? The trips, so let me go back here. So the trip experiences, yes. In the 3-month cohort, it's every 10 days. In the 1-month cohort, will be very weak. So those are entertaining, but mostly educational trips align with the quests they're working on, or the projects they're building. So yes, it's included. The extracurricular activities are not, but we get very competitive prices. We negotiate bulk prices. We try to get discounts for our community, and we vet those service providers as well. What age groups do you have education programs for 1 to 12 as of now? Can families join without going to education center? As homeschoolers, we don't want to send our kids to school. Yeah, unfortunately not. That's something we thought we could accommodate, and we learned that for two reasons we cannot. One is that we do not have enough space. We have at this time 26 properties. We hope to increase it to 30. And quite frankly, the education center is not a major source of revenue for us to be able to finance our operations. So we really need to have families working with us on the entire package to be a sustainable project. So so no, we can't accommodate that at this time. But another reason is also that it's not an optimal experience for the children. Everything is done around the education center, and we, have tried to accommodate and are accommodating the families we have accepted before, but it's challenging. There is a liabilities around all the activities and the education. Most of the activities are within education. They are actually financed by the families that are paying for the education system. So it becomes very complex. So I have to say, I'm sorry, but that's not something we're going to be able to be doing. Yes, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I just want to jump in to say, if anybody wanted to talk to me about it being a school and not wanting to send their kids to a school, I think it's worth having the conversation, because it really isn't the traditional curriculum-based, standardized-based school. There's so much, and it's such an incredible experience for the kids, that I wouldn't let that put you off until you have a little bit more conversation and experience with what it is.
I was muted. Thank you so much for offering, Stacey. And yes, many families that have been with us. Today I learned something very exciting. Even though we are a young company, our net promoter score is 100% plus. So that means that every family that came would highly recommend our services. And every family suggested, offered, because they want more families to have access to that they would talk about their experience. And we're very fortunate about that. What are the living arrangements like for the families, all under one roof, separated by nearby homes? No, every family has their own apartment, specifically designed with their needs in mind. We have two possibilities. You could live in one of our buildings. We have at this time 3 buildings, and all the apartments in these buildings are ours. So all the families are from the community. And then you can live like myself or Lindsey, where you have an apartment in a building where your neighbors are actually locals, most likely. And that's a different experience. They all walking distance one to another. All our properties are within the historical center, and maximum, I would say mine, I think is the further one, 10 minutes walking distance from the education center. Yes, another question about the if we can join without having our kids in the education center. We thought we could accommodate, but unfortunately, we see it's not a model that would work. So unfortunately, not in the future. But again, trying it out, I would say it's really worth it. Even if it's not something, even if you homeschool or you already work school, giving that opportunity to your children for a few months or maybe 1 month, it's something that would highly recommend. As I've seen many examples of children and families that, and we have so many testimonials of, hey, I didn't want to go to school, and now I really want to go to the Boundless Life Learning Center. Or I was homeschooling and I was not socialized enough, and my kids were not socialized enough, and here they really developing the social skills. And of course, there are many other advantages based on everything we presented before. So I recommend, of course. You mentioned some travel insurance companies that could use to rent coverage. Yes, absolutely. We have partnerships. We have great discounts with some of them, like Safety Wings, up to 30% cheaper than if you would go and get your insurance yourself. That's something we recently were able to sign with them, and we are deploying with the community we have now in place, and we'll be offering to any family that will join us. Margaret Morales asked if there are private workspace available, because her husband works with sensitive personal data and cannot work in a shared co-working space. I understand that happens. Well, the internet in your home, every home is equipped with internet. So of course you could work from your home. Option to book house with an extra room to use. Oh yeah, is there an option to book a housing with an extra room to use as an office? Absolutely, absolutely. And actually, in some of our properties, we have studios just for that. That's something we discovered. We thought that at first we would rent studios, but they are quite small, and we prefer not to offer this type of property. So we are renting them at some additional cost, not too much, so families can rather be more comfortable, let's say, when they receive friends or parents, relatives, or if they want to use it as an office. So some properties have that, which is a door next to their door, but you could also maybe get a 3-bedroom if you only need a 2-bedroom, for example.
And I want to point out too that Stace is in, or she was earlier, in a private booth at the co-working space. So we do have 3 in Sintra.
That's a question about COVID and what's the situation in Portugal, and if Sintra has, it's different from other places. Well, I couldn't answer this question accurately because it all depends on the places. I would say that things are controlled over here. We follow the regulations of the government, which now are not many. Masks are required in stores and restaurants if you're walking around. But I believe similar now in many places around the world. And yeah, COVID still exists. I myself got COVID 2 weeks ago, last week. I isolated, made sure to work from home. It's not fun, but that's a similar risk than I believe we would have anywhere at this time. So yes, that's what I can say about it. Every country is a bit different, but here if you're outside and everything seems fine, and it's not a lot of people very concerned about that. Everybody seems okay. It's a high rate of vaccination in Portugal as well. But if you need more information about that, there's the government site. You just Google Portugal COVID, and then there's all the updates in there. How much does the school cost monthly? It's €1,200 per child per month. If you add additional charges, you get a discount, so 10% per child. I have a 12-year-old. Could we participate? Yes, absolutely. How early would the good question, the non Schengen country open? We within the next 6 months, we believe that we look into, or by the end of the year maximum, we believe that Morocco is an option. I was supposed to be in Morocco a couple of weeks ago, couldn't go, so I'm going in May now, and then going to Bali as well. And how the families are doing a 9-month or 1-year program within the Schengen restrictions. So yes, good question. So we support with legal services, and we connect families with the lawyers we trust and negotiate good pricing with, right? So in Portugal, for example, a lawyer extend our visas up to 6 months. And then, so we stay in 6 months in Portugal, and then the next destination, we're getting a digital nomad visa. And then with digital nomad visa, we can stay 12 months in that destination. And quite frankly, there are no any control within the Schengen visa zone. So going from one place to another is completely open. It's like being in the same country. And there are no limitations there, really. For the educational field trips, what is the minimum age for those children to participate? I would say 2 years old. I think that's the youngest we have now. Yeah, 1 year, maybe a little younger, but that's something I can confirm with our educators. We do host 1-year-olds if there are and are needed, but I think the youngest kids we have are 2 and 3. I have a long question here. Let me just read before I can answer that. Okay, so again, a question about the Schengen area and the visas. So families starting now in, let's say, in June, which is our next cohort, those come for 1 month. They could stay and combine the 3 1-month cohorts and stay 3 months in Portugal, for example. And then they can easily extend to another 3 months. So that would be 6 months. And that will be September, October, November. And then from there, choose a new destination that will be launched. That's really how we're doing. Okay, Jessica is asking a question about the activities in June. I believe an email was sent out, but the dates were March. I'm not familiar with that, but I'm gonna make sure we correct that. And we contact you, Jessica, right after this call here to answer your questions about that. But you'll be able to sign up for those activities, of course, very soon. For July, what cities are open for July? We have Sintra, of course, and the next destination will be announced soon. Quite frankly, most like in Spain, as you've seen our team there, but I cannot confirm that right now. We have teams working in Spain, Italy, and Greece as I speak right now. And as soon as we confirm the building for education center, we'll be setting up shop and preparing everything for July. So it would be one of these destinations. Consider we already homeschooling our kids. Is there a document we can read that explains what the education system converts and doesn't convert? Meaning it might cover art, but not chemistry. Yes, we have documents we can share with you, Nate, about the curriculum. and I think that can bring some clarity. Lindsey, is that something you could do now and share this document maybe in the chat, and then everybody could just have access to it? Austin,
I can also add, Marcos, that
yes,
the education's really individualized too, and there is a space if a parent thought that there was something that they really wanted their child to study. I know that my kids do some things that the other kids don't do, and the school is really supportive of that. So it's very flexible to make sure that it's meeting the needs that the child and the family want.
Yes, exactly. It gives a lot of room for personalization, right? And it's a small group of people. We have many educators, and we here also listening to feedback and adapting as needed. And that's the goal. It's not, we're not strict on anything, as long as it's something that it's we can execute for a specific child or for the entire group. Okay, Austin, you are always going to stay in the locations permanently, meaning you always have a setup in Portugal, and as you grow, families can decide what locations they want to go to if they stay with you for longer than 3 months. Exactly. So we're really setting up shop everywhere, and it's going to be open 12 months a year, and we'll be just expanding and expanding and expanding like that. So you can go from one place to another. Jessica, would love to hear more about the connections integration to the medical system there, if there is an emergency, right? Yes, absolutely. So there are multiple private clinics here in Sintra, and they're very good. Everybody that have used them, really enjoy the service, and recommend you to have travel insurance that you can use here. And we have connections with local doctors as well. And it's a small town, so we've been expanding quite well and fast, and making a lot of connections. So I have a personal doctor here that is also my neighbor, and is also someone that that owns one of the properties that we rent. So that's how we build those relationships. And it's a very old and traditional community here. Everybody knows each other, and we are integrating very well, which is really cool. So there is any need, an emergency, we have a team to figure out, and we have connections, and we just make things happen. But you can look at Sintra Medica, is one of the local clinics here that we've been using, and the services are really good.
And I personally have been to CUF many times. After COVID, they take great care of you. We have the name of a great doctor that we, now the community uses. So we all feel very safe and comfortable.
Okay, thank you, Stacey. Austin. Okay, so this one was answered. Katia, is it possible to skip a few days or a week in the learning center if you want to travel around Portugal for a bit, or is it the program designed to be participated continuously? It's designed to be participated continuously. That being said, this is a free community. Every parent is, can do whatever they want, the way they want, and just inform us that you're going to travel and you're not going to be, and it's fine. It's more for the kids. We believe that for the kids, more beneficial to